Tanjiro KAMADO has started off as a humble coal seller, but is now a coal seller with a sword. He has gone through many fights, and this has led him to where Muzan is in the Infinity Castle. I thought it would be a great idea to go through every single fight he's gone through and just to see his evolution through all those fights up until we get to him fighting Muzan. We'll see how he grew and what he learned from each fight and how he adapted and what skills he got. This video will contain no spoilers for the manga and will go up until the end of the last episode of the Hashira training arc. Don't forget to use YouTube breathing, first form, like and subscribe. I hope you enjoy. The first kind of fight we get with Tanjiro is with Giyu when he's protecting Nezuko. Giyu is clearly way too strong for Tanjiro to face on his own, but we see here that Tanjiro announces to Giyu that he will turn Nezuko back into a human and hunt down the man who turned her into a demon. Giyu actually tells Tanjiro not to grovel in the dirt and feel bad for himself, and actually to fight back and take action. This creates a drive within Tanjiro to try attack Giyu, and he bluffs him with a fake straightforward attack whilst concealing the axe which was thrown in the air and nearly hitting Giyu. This would be Tanjiro's only loss. Giyu guides him to his teacher, previous water Hashira, Sakonji Urodaki. Tanjiro gets a smell of blood by a temple that him and Nezuko pass by. Here there is a demon that has killed and eaten 2 humans. Tanjiro notices this and he's actually prepared to defend himself. He draws his hatchet as the demon dives onto him, but he gets overpowered by its power. Nezuko steps in and kicks its head off, but the fight isn't over as the body takes Nezuko away while Tanjiro deals with the head. He immobilizes the head onto a tree and he saves Nezuko from the body. Here he doesn't feel as if he can actually kill the demon, and Urokodaki shows up trying to see what Tanjiro will do. His immense kindness is sensed and doesn't want to smash the demon's head in because he feels bad it'll be too agonizing for him. Urokodaki says that he has too much empathy for these demons and that he will not make it. The sun eventually comes up and ends the demon. He points out his decision making is too slow and resolve is too weak. Tanjiro goes with Urokodaki to train. After training with Urokodaki, Tanjiro is ready to take on the Demon Slayer entrance exam. Here he faces a lot of fodder demons, and this time he's improved immensely. Aside from his swordsmanship, he can kill demons in one strike without feeling empathy. He still, however, gets very scared when a bigger demon approaches him. His legs and arms start to shake, but he talks himself out of it and saves a fellow examinee from getting eaten by the hand demon. After being traumatized, he rushes in, losing his concentration on breathing, and he gets knocked out. After waking up, he regains his concentration and eventually kills the hand demon. He still holds onto that empathy and holds that demon's hands as it disintegrates, and he even prays for him. His next mission after becoming a demon slayer is to investigate a demon stealing away a young woman in the night. It seems like a generic fight, but we see that Tanjiro's emotions awaken as the demon shows him all his victims by the hairpins that he keeps as a collection. Lucky for Tanjiro, Nezuko is there to help him, so this is the part where Tanjiro trusts Nezuko instead of babying her. He easily defeats the trio of demons and gives the guy his fiance's hairpin. Here he shows empathy for someone that misunderstood him. In the end, the guy apologizes, but Tanjiro knows what he's going through. This is one of the fights where Tanjiro has to work his hardest, but compared to the other fights that are to come, this is one of the easiest. Sasamaru and Yahaba state that they are the 12 moons, but afterwards we see that that was a lie and they were probably very close to that spot, but not close enough. It starts with Sasamaru attacking Tanjiro with her balls, and then Nezuko finds Yahaba. Now they switch to Tanjiro dealing with Yahaba. He has to adapt and predict the arrows. He uses the momentum and force of Yahaba's arrows to create a horizontal water wheel to kill him eventually. It's not quite over as he uses a flurry of arrows before he disintegrates, but Tanjiro uses water breathing to escape. Next is Sasamaru, but Tamayo tricks her into saying Muzan's name, and then the curse eventually kills her. Tanjiro meets with Zenitsu and Inosuke, and they are asked to save people within the mansion. They get separated by the demon Kyogai, who is able to control each room in the mansion. He was also the previous lowest 6 until Muzan realized he's reached his limit as a demon and didn't need him anymore. When he faces him, he doesn't quite understand his moves, and he looks back at his training with Urokodaki and sees that he needs to adapt. With water breathing, there are 10 forms, meaning you can use any of those forms to adapt, just like how water can take the shape of any container it's put in. This boosts his resolve and starts adapting. He has empathy for Kyogai as he doesn't step on his notes and praises his blood demon art just as he slices off his head. So the main one here is Rui, but Tanjiro also fights the father and mother spider demons, so I'll just cover that here quick. When Tanjiro is about to kill the mother, he sees her accepting her fate and he uses a form that'll kill her in a painless way, freeing her from this curse. The father just eats him away and Inosuke is left to fight it. Tanjiro lands by Rui disciplining his sister, but Tanjiro tells him that this isn't the way siblings should treat each other. We will see this later on in the Gyutaro and Daki fight. As he fights Rui, his swords break and Nezuko jumps in to tank one attack. This entices Rui to take Nezuko as his sister. But Tanjiro is not having that. So Rui ends up trapping Nezuko and attempts to kill Tanjiro once and for all. In this final fight, Tanjiro reflects on his father and the dance he used to do, the Hinokami Kagura. He uses these moves to use sun breathing to try and cut off Rui's head. However, it's not over as Rui cut his own head off before Tanjiro could. He nearly loses but Giyu steps in to end Rui. So this is Tanjiro's first proper 12 Kazuki and it only goes up from here. Before we get into this fight, it's important to notice the growth we see within his dream state. With Enmu's abilities, Tanjiro is put into a deep sleep and a deep dream where he sees his family. He knows that they're gone and nothing can change that. The only thing he can do now is kill himself in the dream world to wake himself up. It just shows the raw willpower he has. Now in this fight, he constantly ends himself as Enmu puts him to sleep. Inosuke joins as they find the main neck. Tanjiro is nearly tricked into taking his own head in reality, but Inosuke stops him. The fight ends with Tanjiro using Hinokami Kagura to slice the demon's neck, leading to another win. In the red light district, Daki will be the first upper moon that Tanjiro faces, and it's not an easy fight. He starts to use Hinokami Kagura more than water breathing, but this is where he realizes that he needs to control his breathing and get his body temperature up. Daki also makes a comment on how useless the lives of these people are, and we hear Tanjiro's heartbeat and his eyes go red. This is probably foreshadowing for when he unlocks his mark later on. On the roof, he exudes the aura of Yoriichi, the man that was closest to killing Muzan. He comes so close to killing Daki but remembers that he needs to breathe, the most important thing for breath techniques. So after Nezuko beats her senseless, Tengen shows up and she gets decapitated. It's not over yet as Gyutaro shows up to save his little sister. Now the real fight of Upper 6 starts. As the fight goes on, they realize they need to decapitate them at the same time, so that's what they try to do. But Uzui loses an arm, Zenitsu is crushed by rubble, and Inosuke is stabbed through the heart, and Tanjiro is still very injured. Gyutaro toys with Tanjiro, but as soon as Tanjiro gets an opening, he tries to chop his head off. In this moment, we see how his parts could have gone with Nezuko as he pictures himself as Gyutaro. In the end, Tanjiro awakens his mark and cuts off Gyutaro's head, and Daki's is off too, leading to this battle being won and the first Upper 6 to be killed after years. The next battle he faces is with Upper 4 Hantengu in the Swordsmith village. As Hantengu splits into more emotions, Tanjiro figures out his power gets weaker, making him excited to win. The fight plays out normally with Tanjiro mainly using Hinokami Kagura and even a bit of thunder breathing he learned from Zenitsu. He is tasked to find the main body, so as Mitsuri is fending off the hatred part of Hantengu, Tanjiro blitzes off to kill the main one. As he catches up to the demon starts to say that why doesn't Tanjiro feel bad for attacking someone so small and weak, but then afterwards Tanjiro just gets pushed off the cliff. The sun comes up and now Tanjiro must decide whether to save his sister or save those humans. He can't make the decision, so Nezuko makes it for him, kicking him towards Upper 4. He ends up killing Upper 4 Hantengu, but also he realizes that his sister is dead. However, she has conquered the sun and he couldn't be happier. This was the one time he couldn't make a decision on the spot, knowing his sister would die if he left her. Well, he doesn't really fight here, but at this point he is much more prepared. He has the drive, skills and power within him to face Muzan and end all demons. Now we just have to wait for the 3 movies to begin, or we can just go read the manga. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more videos like this. I will see you next week with a new video. Thank you so much, take care and stay safe.